Hello world of YouTube and welcome to a spin on a video topic that I've explored in the past, and that's updating my discography reviews. Every time I did a discography review in the past, whenever the band released a new project, I would update the discography review, which is a review of the new record, while trying to tie it into the concept of the discography review as a whole. But with the new format, that brings a challenge, because I can't just sit down and talk about the titular new release without factoring in one of the big changes I brought to the new format, and that's my ranking. I need to sort of reshuffle the ranking of a discography when discussing a new record. I need to recontextualize the discography review. And while I've done reformatted discography reviews already, in the new format, I just need to recontextualize. I need to take a new album and put it in the ranking while also talking about where it fits for those that want to get into the artist. So that's what I'm here to do today. And what better way to cap off this concept than by doing the first artist I did in this new discography review format, the singer-songwriter icon Beck, by adding his new record, Hyperspace. I didn't expect Beck to follow up Colors so quickly with a new project in 2019, and yet when he did, I initially had some hype because I liked the track that had dropped well before it released, Saw Lightning. However, the finished product, I would say, was a little underwhelming. And it's interesting because it does something, it expands on Colors by incorporating things that Beck has toyed with in the past, and that's hip-hop. The only difference is that now he's toying with contemporary ideas in hip-hop and working with an artist like Pharrell to make seemingly Beck's version of a sad boy record. And I don't think it completely falls apart in execution. As you can see, I didn't put it on the very bottom. I still put it above Golden Feelings because I feel like I like the production better on Hyperspace. I don't mind the lo-fi edge, but I still feel like Beck was just wrapped up in his own form of postmodernism irony a little too far. His head was a little too far up his ass on Golden Feelings. I feel like he harnessed it really well on Stereopathic Soul Manure, and the production is tightened up just a little bit, and that's why it still sits above this, because the biggest issue I have with Hyperspace as a whole is that it's just really bland. Like, it is the most bland Beck project. Even when he was expanding upon his sea change vibes with Morning Phase, he did a good job at interpolating it and putting in new soundscapes to make that sound feel just a little fresh. While this record has some nice ideas, I like some of the synth embellishments on Uneventful Days and Chemical and Stratosphere and Dark Places. Even those tracks sometimes get muggy in their own monotony. And this record's biggest hindrance is a lack of power. You know, what I think made Colors so great was its use of a good hook with its production that suited those hooks very, very well. And while there are tracks with good hooks, I still enjoy the melody on Uneventful Days' hook. I like the kinetic energy of Saw Lightning, and I dig the explosive nature of Stratosphere. Chemical's sort of herky-jerky hook still doesn't ring all that well to me. The title track's interpolation of more hip-hop leanings doesn't mesh well with Beck. For some reason, Beck cannot do trap very well, or at least trap-leaning stuff very, very well. He's not a Travis Scott who can turn trap and make it this psychedelic sort of style, which is something that I feel like Beck is trying to do on this project on a handful of instances. I also think that while he is trying to spice things up on tracks like Saw Lightning and Star, he doesn't have enough of that in this track listing to give it the sort of vibrancy it needs to stand out in Beck's discography in any meaningful way. I feel like if you are listening to Beck and you're wanting to dive into a record like this, I would listen to the singles and maybe cherry pick the songs that you enjoy after you've experienced it and kind of leave it at that. It's not a record that I feel like as a whole experience is worth your time, but I feel like if you want to pull good tracks from it or pull the elements that you like from it on like a rotation, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea, because I think that there's some decent tracks on here, and I think there's some good ideas, but I feel like he and Pharrell just didn't fully execute a worthwhile product, and I feel like a lot of the production inconsistencies kind of go in hand with that. You know, there's this sense of just haphazardness to the composition of this record that leaves it sort of feeling bare in the worst ways possible. And which really is upsetting, because I feel like coming off of Colors, he could have expanded on that record and added some sort of millennial pop or pop trap centric ideas in a way that was interesting, but he just didn't do anything with it to me. And that's how I would put Beck's Hyperspace in his discography. What did you think of this idea? Did you like it? Did you not? Matt Yenter, KLM Stars, asked me about this on Patreon forever ago, and I meant to address this sooner. Obviously, I talk about all new records on the listening log, so I'm more using this as a point to maybe expand on some points that I had made in that review, while also recontextualizing it in his discography a little more heavy-handedly, you know, talking about where I think it fits in as far as expanding on certain record sounds, or why I think it's above other records but below other records that I've already talked about. If you've missed my Beck discography review and you would like to see how I'd rank all of his discography, it's linked in the description. Like I said, it was the first one that I did in this format, and I'm really happy with it still, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more of my music, gaming, and general nerdery content, be sure to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons. If you would like to join their ranks to get early access to content, exclusive content, and help drive the community, it's linked in the description. But either way, I'm going to get out of here. I've been Viral Rack. You guys have been Days Live Situations, and I'll see you another day.